Alright, so today's story time, in my opinion, is a pretty awkward one, I would say. It's been a while since I've told a story time like this. Let's jump right into this. So this story time takes place back in 2018, okay? I was living in New York at the time, and I was hanging out with some friends at my house, just eating dinner. It was me and three other friends hanging out, and my one friend was like, yo, after we're done eating dinner, do any of you want to come with me to the mall? I have to buy some sweatpants. And I was like, yeah, for sure, I'll come to the mall. Like, I like the mall. It's a fun place to be. Not really, but it's something to do. So I was like, yeah, for sure. So my friend's like, all right, cool. So we hang out for a little bit longer. We get done eating, and my friend's like, all right, y'all ready to go? And I was like, yep, I'm ready. And my other two friends that were at my house were like, nah, we're going to stay behind. And I'm like, all right. So me and my friend were going to the mall by ourselves and leaving these other two friends back in my house. We'd only be gone for like an hour or two anyway, so we didn't really care. Like, it's not like they were missing a whole lot. Like, we were just going there so my friend could buy some sweatpants. So anyway, yeah, me and my friend leave my house. We get into his car. We drive down to the mall. And we're at the mall for about 30 minutes. We're going to different stores. He's picking out sweatpants that he likes. He was really, really picky about sweatpants. I have never seen someone so picky about what pair of sweatpants he needed. He needed specific brands. He would only buy these two specific brands. And I asked him, I'm like, wait, why do you need those two specifically? He's like, well, I'm gonna be lounging in the house, and yeah, they're the most comfortable. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. So me and my friend are going store to store looking for these specific sweatpants that he needs. And we start splitting up because I was just sick of like looking for his sweatpants. I kind of wanted to start, window shopping myself, seeing if I liked anything. So I'm by myself in this one aisle in this store that we're in. And this random old lady comes up behind me and taps me on the shoulder. And I turn around and I look at her and she goes, do you work here, sir? And I was like, oh no, like I'm sorry, I don't work here, but there's someone right over there who works here. And I pointed at this guy that was like just down the aisle. And she's like, oh, thank you, young man. Thank you so much. And I was like, no problem. And she walks over to this guy and starts talking to him about whatever she was looking for. And I just thought to myself, I was like, wow, what a sweet old lady that was. How polite. And I look over at my friend. He comes over to me. He's like, yo, like, what'd that lady want? I was like, I don't know. She was just looking for something. She thought I worked here. And he's like, oh, all right. Well, what do you think of these sweatpants? And he holds up these two kinds. And I was like, I like both of them, honestly. They both look good. They both look comfortable. Like, what do you think? He was like, well, they're not the brand that I was looking for, but they're pretty comfortable and they look good. So I think I'm going to get them both. I'm like, all right, sounds good. And right after I say that, I hear this lady scream at this employee. I turn around and it's that same old lady, and she is cussing this guy out. Like, she is saying almost every word in the book, and she's just swearing at him, yelling at him, because apparently he was being rude to her husband. And I looked around, and she was alone. She wasn't with a husband or anybody else. And I was like, all right, well, like, maybe her husband was just here a second ago, and he walked out of the store. Like, I don't know what happened. I was turned around. But then I hear this employee. He's like, ma'am, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Your husband's not here. I didn't talk to anyone but you. Like, I'm just trying to help you out. And she gets screaming even louder. And out of nowhere, she just turns around and walks out of the store. And me and my friend both look at each other. And I was like, that was strange. He's like, yeah, that's really, really weird. Like, I wonder what that guy said to her. And I turn around and I look at the employee. And he looks at us and he goes, I have no idea what she was just talking about. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, man, like she just came up to me and asked me where the women's stuff was. And I was telling her it was on the second floor. And as I was trying to help her, she started screaming at me, like cussing me out, saying that I was being rude to her husband, but her husband wasn't even here. I don't know what she's talking about. And I was like, oh, like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, no big deal. Definitely an interesting first day. And I was like, it's your first day here and that's what just happened? He's like, yep, my mom's gonna love to hear about this when she asked me how my first day went. And I felt so bad for this dude. Like, he was probably the same age as me around this time, probably like 19 years old. And I just couldn't imagine that happening on my first day. But anyway, it doesn't end there, okay? Like, this story is just getting started. So after me and this employee were talking, we both kind of realized that it's very, very possible that this lady could have Alzheimer's or dementia or, something going on, and she could be lost. Or not, but either way, like, we wanted to make sure she was okay. So me and this employee and my friend decided to walk out of the store and try and find this lady because she couldn't have gone far and make sure that she's okay and that she's with the right people. Because if she did get separated from her family, we wanted to make sure that we got her back to them safely. So we go out into the mall, we're looking for her, we can't find her, and we split up. And me and my friend go into this one store at the mall that is like half goth clothing and like half like funny props and like adult rated films and stuff. It was definitely a pretty out there store. And we get in there and we're looking for her and we end up finding her in the back of the store where they have all the adult movies. She's looking at things that are a little bit on the X-rated side. And this is kind of when I realized, like, all right, she has to be lost. Like, there's no way this old woman is in this store looking at X-rated DVDs. So when we walk up to her, she has one of these DVDs in her hand and she's staring at it. And she's like, this is just disgusting. How can they sell this stuff here? And I was like, hey, ma'am. And she goes, oh, hi. Hi, young man. And I was really glad that she was being nice to me and not yelling at me like that store employee. And I asked her, I'm like, do you by any chance happen to be lost? And she was like, I am. I can't find my husband. And she's like, will you guys help me find him? And I'm like, yeah, for sure, like, come with us. So me and this lady and my friend walk out into the mall. We see that store employee, and he approaches us very cautiously because she just screamed at him and he didn't want to make her upset. And he walks up to us and he goes, hey, like, you found her. I'm like, yeah, we're going to take her to the security office and see if they can help her find her husband or whoever she's here with. And he's like, all right, good, I'm going to go back to work now. And he went back to his store and she didn't yell at him or anything, so that was good. So me, this lady, and my friend go to the security office, and we knock on the security office door, and we're just waiting for them. And all of a sudden, this lady lets a loud sound out from her behind area. And I look at my friend, he looks at me, and she looks at us, and she goes, I shit myself. And me and my friend both look at each other, and we look back at her, and she goes, can you guys help me? And I was like, what? And she goes, I'm just going to change. And she starts trying to, like, pull her pants down. I'm like, no, like, ma'am, like, hold on a sec. Like, security's going to help you. Don't worry. And me and my friend are both just looking at each other. And she looks at my friend and goes, can you help me? And my friend goes, I'm not really equipped for that, ma'am. I'm sorry. And right after he says that, the security door opens. And the security guard was like, can I help you guys? I was like, yeah, I think this lady is lost. Like, I think she just had a bathroom accident as well. We just really need some help here. He's like, okay, great, like, thank you for bringing her here, you guys did the right thing. And all of a sudden, she looks at the security guard, and she's like, you're not my husband, who the hell are you? And she starts cussing the security guard out. And he's like, all right, thank you guys, like, we'll take it from here. And these other two security guards came over, and they escorted her into the office. I was just happy that we got this lady somewhere safe, and they were gonna try and find, where her husband or whoever she was there with was. So yeah, we're walking away from the security office, and my friend looks at me, and he goes, bro, what do you think she meant when she looked at me and asked me to help her after she had that accident? And I was like, I'm not too sure, man. Like, she's definitely older, so she could have had a diaper on. He's like, man, on everybody I love, I am never going to change a baby or an old person's diaper ever. I'm like, well, to your luck today, man, you didn't have to. You almost did, but you didn't have to. He's like, nah, man, if we had to change a diaper, it was going to be you doing all the work, not me. I'm like, nah, I think it was going to be you. So yeah, after we got her to the security office, me and my friend went back to that store where that employee was. We told him about how we got her to the security office safely, and that for the most part, everything was okay, besides that one little accident, and that everything was all good. And he was like, oh, like, thank you guys so much for helping me out with that. I was like, yeah, no problem. And yeah, after this, my friend bought his sweatpants, and we left the mall, and we went back home, and my friend told my other friends the story, and from that point forward, everybody started calling my friend the diaper changer, even though he didn't change any diapers. But in the end, everything was okay, everything was all good. We actually went back to the mall a couple weeks later, and that same employee told us that the security guards helped find her family that she was with. She was there with a family, and that she got home safely and everything was all good. So yeah, everybody was safe, everybody was okay. Moral of the story is, if you're ever in a public place with somebody that needs supervision, make sure you keep a good eye on them, you don't let them get lost. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video, I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys all later. Peace.